Hey YouTube, coming at you with another Master League team. I called in the title an accessible team, and I think Gyarados and Primarina are pretty accessible. I guess that depends on when you started, and then Necrozma, not as accessible, but depending how hard you grinded Go Fest, which Go Fest allowed a lot of people out, a lot of chances to get those XLs, so perhaps a lot more people have those than I expected, but maybe not. But thank you for the videos, they're really helpful. I used this team the last time Master League was on, right after Poplio Community Day, and it worked well. It's a pretty balanced team that covers a lot of the common dragons with some fairy coverage in Dusk main. You always say that moveset, stat product, and typing are what make a Pokemon good, and I think this team's strength is that Pokemon's typing and a bit of movesets. I think the team is relatively budget too, only having one legendary Gyarados that's been around forever, and Calm Days. Look at that. I didn't even read this before, and that's kind of what I just said. As for my play, be as harsh as you like. I make plenty of mistakes. There are also a couple times where my opponent found their lose con. Sorry, but that's fine. Overall, went 4-1 and 3-2 with this team. So thanks for the submission. The range was around 2100. I make it up to 2550, but usually hover 2300. Okay. So this is kind of what. So it's right. So if you've been around for this channel, I always go stat product, typing, and moveset. So what they're kind of going over for moveset and typings here is the Master League is generally dominated by very bulky legendary Pokemon. And a lot of them are, not a lot of them, but there's a good amount of Dragon in this meta as well. So having Gyarados with Dragon Breath and then having a Steel and having a Fairy already up from the typing perspective is pretty nice to go against the main meta. You also have Yveltal, which is a big Pokemon now, so having a Fairy Charm user for that is pretty strong as well. Again, I kind of think that Primarina just had a community day, so if you play in like the last 2 months, you could have a Primarina with Hydro Cannon. Gyarados, the community day for Gyarados was a while ago, so maybe getting Aqua Tail on a Gyarados is a little trickier if you haven't been around. And then again, Necrozma depends how hard you went during Go Fest this year. But let's take a look at some battles and see how this plays out. So Gyarados against Rhyperior. If it's a Mud Type Rhyperior, this is a great matchup, which I assume it is because they get out. Primarina comes in. It is a Charm Primarina, so out comes the Necrozma, which is half Steel. Hydro Cannon will probably do a good amount of chip. Yeah, taking it to the yellow. With the resisted charms, you're okay. And this is only neutral because they're half water as well, but this thing is the nukiest nuke in the game pretty much. So pretty much when it hits anything for neutral, even resisted, it does a lot of damage. And it tried to make it to there. Again, I won't blame you for that. I know you thought you could make it there, which you could not. This is just looking like a hard counter team anyways. Yeah, it's just a hard counter team. Obviously, if you know you can't get to the move, you just throw whatever move you can get to. But I'll just assume that you thought you can get to the move. Okay, this time they are staying in. They finally get out into Zygarde. Zygarde is half ground, so this is neutral. I assume Primarina is next on tap here. They shield, which is a weird shield given how bulky Zygarde is. Now, Dragon Tail is obviously resisted. They would have access to Earthquake. Earthquake against Primarina, I don't know, 50%? Yeah, just over 50. So with these charms really adding up, Hydro Cannon is all you need. Going to instead commit to the shield and farm down. It is just a crunch, so that is unfortunate, and you get the defense fall. But committing to the farm down, so you just have a ton of energy. They had already shielded, right? So you kind of are in a good spot there. Florges come in. Obviously, just getting two hard-hitting Hydro Cannons is a pretty good situation to be in this one right now. Fairy Wind is now not gonna take you out here. They're probably gonna have to throw out. You're gonna just out-charm them and take them out. Yeah. So your opponent kind of needs to recognize that faster, that Fairy Wind is not going to do it, and they need to just throw to get this out of here. Coming in here to Dragon Breath down, and that's aggressive. Not going to get it. They will hit you with the Starring Voice. It'll chip. Yeah, Gyarados. These, unfortunately, Gyarados Primarina just don't really have the stat product to compete with most of these Pokemon. Even Breaking Swipe from this range will put you very low. And a Rock Wrecker would definitely one-shot, so kind of nice that it was not a Breaking Swipe. Going for the super effective Aqua Tail. Again, not enough to take it out. I don't know how much energy they have, so you're just not going to mess around with this and just... Oh, they have no... Okay, they have one chill, but not going to mess around with it. Just They only have one Pokemon left though. Okay, Xerneas is going to be tricky because Gyarados is resisted. The Dragon Breaths are resisted. Are going to stay in and just chip with Aqua Tail. You can probably live one Play Rough. Their fast move damage is not really doing much. This charge move will do. Not if they throw the resisted close combat. Why? Okay, I don't know why they did that. Palkia comes in. I don't know why he threw a resisted water move. You're just so confused as to why they threw a move or they caught. But then just punish this thing. What is the legacy move? Okay, Draco Meteor. I forget what the other. It's also a dragon move, right? The legacy move on those things. Going to throw a move here. If they throw a close no, now they throw the Moonblast. I don't know why they didn't throw the Moonblast at Gyarados the first time. Gyarados is half flying, so close combat is resisted. Got an instant swap to Gyarados. Kind of nice instant swap because Charm would be resisted as well. And just being able to chip here and take those resisted Incinerates, force them to throw. Going to shield, assuming you'll get to another move, plus they Brave Bird. So now you could just do a few more Dragon Breaths and doing like 3 and throwing so you don't have that move register before you get to your charge move. Now get taken down. Now just coming in Primarina. Just going to sacrifice this, and then you can just Necrozma down the rest of this. Necrozma down. Shadow Claw down the rest of this. They have a Xerneas. Now, you're going to have to take a move. It's going to be close combat. You'll live. I don't know how long it's going to take to get to the next move. So, not going to test it. I think from this range, it's so low that a Dark Pulse probably takes out. Like, they had like no health left. So I think you probably just throw Dark Pulse there and just save some energy. I don't think Senseal Strike's kind of overkill from that range. Okay, Waterfall's resisted, so yeah, just staying in this one. Gonna throw the Crunch when you get to it. Pretty good. You're pretty good on your timing. For someone who says they don't get above 2,500. And then they bank all that energy just to come Primarina. So we are... was this a mistake coming in here? Because I would imagine that when you see a Charmer, you would want to come with your Necrozma Steel. But instead, coming with your Mirror Match, I guess now you can come Necrozma and just Shadow Claw down and get ahead on energy. Yes, the Kyogre has a lot of energy, but you can start getting some here too. You could just ignore the moves. Hope they don't get to Hydro. Hydro here versus like a water move. Yeah, I was about to say, I might even want to shield. I may have wanted to shield that move on Primarina as opposed to a Surf on Kyogre. Just because how hard it hits. Fairy in the back is fantastic. Weak to Steel, and that's going to one-shot. And at this point, the matchup is over because you have Gyarados, which will take it out from this range anyways. But add on a few more Claws and Chip. So they're going to just try and farm you down. You might want to recognize this. It does not matter. They're going to have to land a move. You shield and you're going to take it out anyways. But just in that situation, you might want to like note your health and what they're trying to do. Because they're basically trying to just farm you down there and you just let them get like 3 extra surfs or waterfalls. So basically next time make that switch faster into Gyarados. So they don't get that free energy. Okay, Yveltal is one you're just staying in because if you switch to Primarina, they probably have an answer, and then you have a bad answer in the back with Necrozma. So, yeah, definitely just stay in this matchup. Throw the Dragon Breath and Aqua Tail. Get some chip. This thing, the Sucker Punch really adds up. So between that, your glassiness compared to these legendary Pokemon and just the Sucker Punch adding up, that would do a lot. Coming Primarina, and this is where you need to figure out what moveset is running. Are you going to get hit with the super effective wild charge, or you are going to hit it with a super effective wild charge? So now they're just going to throw the second one. Going to shield. I know you're out of Hydro, and I guess with the wild charge lowering their defense times 4, a Hydro will take them out from this range with ease. So taking them out, but they are just going to run to shield whatever's in the back here. and it is a Rhyperior. So Rhyperior, obviously Gyarados here. This will grab a shield. They got 2 shields and only basically 1 Pokemon left. So this will 100% grab the shield. Out comes a move. Too quick to be Rock Wrecker, I think. Okay, what do I know about that? I don't know. Yeah, I don't play Master League nearly enough to have an uninformed opinion on this. Mud Slaps are obviously adding up a ton on the Necrozma. Break and Swipe and Rock Wrecker are both resisted. So that's your only strength, but these Mud Slaps are adding up pretty quick. They are just going to let it go. They still have a decent health Yveltal, which the Sucker Punch is super effective. At this, yeah, you don't even need to like wait for Sunseal Strike. You just throw Dark Pulse, but it was a loss anyways. Is it just your range? Like, I understand Rhyperior is now like number 6 ranked Pokemon in Master League, but I've got to imagine there's a bunch of better, more usable Pokemon in Master League, but I know that it's just accessible for all. So is that why we're seeing so many here? Or is it your like 2100 ELO range that's why we're seeing so many? It's unclear. Get the double super effective Aqua Tail off enough to take out Zyrude comes in. So going to stay in here. As Necrozma, you are weak to dark, so and Primarina will hit super effective. So just basically gonna, although Primarina will also take super effective from the Power Whips. So yes, you're gonna chip with Charm, but they will also potentially get a charge move off that will really hurt. Because they're just going to commit to the farm down. A lot of chip damage here on Zyrude. So if you can come in and just get like a Charm off here, maybe it takes it out. And then they instant swap into Kyogre. So what I think you do there is, because you have a neutral Charm and they have resisted waterfalls, what you could do is you could just like, I was going to say stay in here. Because... And if you stay in there, because for sure waterfalls and surf are resisted. And the question is, what do they have as their second move? And if their second move was a thunder and you didn't want to take the thunder, then at the ending there, I think you try and catch the thunder on the Necrozma. But looks like you will just get the farm down anyway, so does not matter too much. Okay, Mirror Match. Not quite exactly Mirror Match because they are running Dragon Tail. So Dragon Tail is a harder hitting move. But a 3-turn move. And it's a harder hitting move, but it looks like you have way more HP. So I'm now looking at the things. Oh no, 38, 50, 38, 54. Is it not Dragon Tail, not more damage, but less, but like the same? It's the same energy. I think it's same energy, slightly more damage. But then the 1-turn benefits from like being a 1-turn move. I think that's what it was. Tapu Bulu comes in. It is half fairy, half grass. So we don't want to see the grass on the Primarina. Nature's Madness is resisted. Yeah, assuming that all these grass and fairy moves will be resisted here. Sunsteel Strike, they shield. So they're, I was going to say, scared of what's in the back. Ooh. So I think you shield once because Oblivion Wing would hurt. And now, can you take this out here? Yes. So you're loaded with energy. I was say, honestly, it doesn't even really matter if you just charmed Hydro Cannon the rest of it, but that's fine. Okay. Dialga. Gonna get off this crunch. Obviously, Dialga is pretty tanky, so... probably won't, it does get to 50% and the defense fall, so that's kind of nice. Going to shield, trying to like, you're probably still gonna lose. It was a roar time, so that is a good shield. As I say, you may still lose if they shield and get to a move, but they may just let this go and then just try and take the shield advantage and maybe some energy advantage here. And they are going to be very aggressive on this farm down, which I kind of like. I kind of like their play. I kind of like letting that first Pokemon go and then just coming in and committing to the super aggressive farm down with a high energy, low damage move. So they are loaded. Unfortunately for them, you have Necrozma, which is half steel. Could still be close combat. and it is. They could probably have back-to-back here. Yep, they do. So they're going to go back-to-back and then just bail into whatever's left. You don't want to double shield here, so you're just going to let shield one, let one go. Is a Rhyperior. So Breaking Swipe is resisted, so they have to go Rock Wrecker here. And there it is, and holy crap, Rock Wrecker smokes here. How much does Rock Wrecker do? And how... I'm honestly surprised that Rhyperior is the number 7 ranked Pokemon. I was actually surprised that that Rock Wrecker gets to it that quick on Mud Slap. Because Mud Slap's not a super fast energy generating move. And to do it, yeah, you know what? To do a 132 damage move, Rock Wrecker, for only 50 energy, 2.64 damage per energy. To get there in 5 slaps, it is 15 turns worth of moves. But everything in the Master League is a little slower to get to the moves compared to the Great League. Yeah, like, that's pretty good. Interesting. I mean, again, I haven't played Master League in forever. You can go watch my video of, I forget what I titled it, like, I want to play Master League, but I can't, or something like that. Talk about the history of how I was able to back in the day, but now it's just not accessible for me. And I'm sure those who are watching it is about 50% of what would normally do, because a lot of people are in the same boat, not accessible. So here's the thing. I think there are accessible Pokemon, and this is a pretty good team for accessible Pokemon that can do pretty good in the Master League. There's Gyarados. There is Primarina. You can now argue Rhyperior. However, again, a lot of those are dependent on how long you have been playing the game. Less with Primarina, because it had a community day like a couple months ago. However, Gyarados' community day was like years and years ago, and there's not many first generation Pokemon around anymore. So even trying to get Magikarps and I was gonna say Rhydon, but that's a second first evolution. Someone corrected me. It's the first evolution. It's not this. It's the second. I call it. It's the second level, but first evolution. I guess. I don't know the terminology. Rhyhorn. There's not many Rhyhorns around. So even Rhyperior, which is a non-legendary Pokemon, Rock Wrecker was a community day move. Again, it was years and years ago at this point. So, yeah, even these accessible Pokemon are not that accessible anymore, right? So accessibility is a huge issue in the Master League. When you look at the first 6 Pokemon on the top rankings here, Zygarde, which is like just insane, Palkia Origin, which is around for like a week there, Yveltal, which people may have that, but you need like Oblivion Wing, but Yveltal, and then Solgaleo, very tough to get. Necrozma, I think, depending on your Go Fest, and then Ho-Oh, same thing. It's like somewhat accessible because it's been around so many times, but still, it takes a lot of rating to get that. I hate to admit this. I'm gonna trade some today. I ripped a Niantic last season for not keeping with the guaranteed XL trade, because it was 13 seasons that it was on, off, and it was supposed to be on, and then they skipped that season. And I was pissed. I'm like, this is the best way to get XLs, best way to trade legendaries to get XL Pokemon, XL candies for the Pokemon. And then they brought it back after 2 off seasons. They brought it back this season. So this season has been on for 3 weeks, and I have not traded a Pokemon for XL candy yet. So stupid me. I'm going to start trading today. The problem is you can only still do like 1 legendary trades per day, so you can still only get that 1 XL candy. But yeah, I just wasted like 20 days of XL candies by not trading there. And then again, you can trade non-legendaries as much as you want. So if you're looking for like Great League Pokemon, like your Sableyes and your Azumarill and stuff like that, you can trade those XLs Diggersby, Carbank. You can trade for those XLs as many times as you want. I mean, I think you only get like 100 trades per day, but like you can trade if you have a lot of them sitting in your storage there. You can just trade a lot of them. So please do that so you get some XLs and try and get to play more leagues. Anyways, thanks for the submission. Again, unfortunately, I think half the amount of people are going to watch this because that's just the way it is. Master League not accessible to people. People do not want to play, which is why I'm going to clickbait the crap out of everyone. If you made it this long, sorry. I definitely put in accessible Master League team because that's the only way people are going to click on this video. YouTube game. Anyways, that's it. Thanks for watching. See you guys in the next one.